Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks, Ruth Allbrand, and Marketing Max. Hope everybody's having a great start of a Saturday. This is episode 69. And every time I say that number, I always think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Ruth. It was a very, let's see, amateurish or what is it called? A kid-like comedy movie of, I think, the early 90s, early 80s. And so when they saw each other, they said, "What number am I thinking about?" 69, dudes. That's with Keanu Reeves. That's my Keanu Reeves impression for the morning. So what is going on it's the end of April here, wrapping up the fourth, month of the year already, and we're almost next to half the year almost gone.
Right. Oh my gosh, don't say that.
Right. I actually started to talk to some clients and other people in like California and some developers and stuff like that, and so they're all saying that they're starting to pick up right now. What are you kind of seeing right now on the stats and in Vegas?
So what's picking up the numbers, right? Or
the numbers. Okay. Numbers, construction starting,
yes.
New construction starting to come up again. And so.
Well, my focus is the iBuyer platforms. I am just amazed at how they're picking up and the stats. So last year, from up to this point, they had done 327 transactions. So from January 1st to April 27th, they did 327 transactions. Mm-hmm. That's 327 commissions that weren't paid to our agents. This year, they're up to 981. They're almost tripling, which is what I'm predicting. And 981 transactions is just, to me, unbelievable.
Sure.
They've gotten that traction. And this past week, they pushed Ivan Shear down to number 4. It's happening, everybody. And that's my thrust, is to get everybody on social media, giving value, doing what we can do, because at this run rate, they are going to hit 3,000 transactions this year. If they just go with this run rate. Now, January, February were pretty slow. And then we started to pick up in March, and then April has been much better. And if they keep getting much better, they may more than triple their business this year. And Max, what I always say is that 65 to 85% of the people you will do business with in your real estate career are people who know you or people who don't know you. If you are not in front of the people who know you, they can't choose you. And if you're not in, they think you're out of business.
Yeah.
And if you're not in front of the people that can't choose you, they can't choose you. So it's real simple. You've got to be in front of people. And the best way to do it is social media.
Right.
One of the best ways.
So let me before we go into the solution here, let me offer you a little bit more stats. So I did a little reading about the iBuyer program this week. And last year in 2018, looks like Open Door did nationwide 10,180 transactions total.
10,130
according to this real estate called Curve.
And that's Open Door?
And that's Open Door.
Wow.
Open Door nationwide. 10,130 homes flipped in 2018. So according to Adam Data Solutions, 18 markets is what they're in right now. So I mean, if the numbers, if Vegas is a microcosm of what's happening around the country, that means, they're on pace to potentially triple that number this year.
Yes.
So it's still, the good news is it's still a very small percentage of, the 5.3 million existing home sales and 622,000 new home sales.
Yes.
But don't let that lull you to sleep here, because that, as we know, with a technology company, things can exponentially explode and move fast. And so they may be tripling this year. They could be quadrupling next year, depending on how much they spend on marketing and where the real estate market is. But one of the biggest things that I I wanted to talk about too today, Ruth, is the reason, on top of obviously them having a lot of money to do marketing and advertising and getting direct to the consumer. One of the things they're doing is they're solving a problem that existed in the real estate transaction from an existing home, when an existing home owner decides to sell and buys a new home, right? The biggest rub is the time it takes for them to sell their current home. And because they need the funds from the sell of their home to buy their new home, that's the problem that these iBuyer programs are solving right now. So you know me, right? Any business, any viable business, and if you want to stay in business a long time, you got to solve problems. And one of the things I want to challenge and maybe offer up a question in our real estate community is, how do we help solve that problem as a community? Since we've been in this process for probably a century, the way we sold real estate has been around the same for a long time. And the only thing that I can think of, on top of obviously being in front of the market, is there's got to be a way to team up with a lender in some way to kind of offer that bridge financing. And that's what really the iBuyer program is. It's a bridge financing product that allows the current homeowner to access finance so that they can go out and buy their new home at their own pace.
Yeah.
So my whole point in saying that is, like, there was a problem. The reason iBuyer programs came up is there was a problem in the real estate transaction business that offered up friction into the process of going from one home to another that these iBuyer programs are trying to solve. Now, the great thing about the article I just read is, these iBuyer programs have not been proven yet through a downturn in the market, meaning, they're trying to buy something at a little bit of a spread, but what if prices fall 20%? How are they going to survive? Because the great thing is a lot of these iBuyer programs, other than Zillow, who's still a very small player right now in the market, is that eventually they're going to burn. They're not profitable yet right now. They're using venture capital money to fund these purchases along the way. And so some interesting data.
Yes.
Right.
And if the market doesn't take a dip and they continue to thrive, they're going to get more money, because
no doubt.
Their whole point is that they want to, Zillow anyway, from what I read in the Business Journal, they quoted that they want to do $1.3 billion this year in profits, which means they have to sell 275,000 homes and net 5,000 per home. Mm-hmm. And right. That basically replaces the revenues generated from the regular Zillow
the premier
platform.
Agent, advertising platform that they have.
So here's a question for you, because you're very insightful. So I was thinking about, okay, so are they really going to replace Zillow, which is where they get all their data? I don't think so. I think that you have to play it a little bit forward and say that they are going to continue to do Zillow without agents advertising.
You mean Zillow, the platform?
Zillow, the platform.
They are not getting rid of that, because that is the attention grab, right? On the front end of it. That is the attention grab there.
But they will get rid of the advertising, I think. I think they're going to get the agent out of that platform. That's just what I see.
I mean, here's the deal. With Zillow, the biggest reason why they're moving forward here is they notice from 2013 to roughly about 17, they saw the advertising revenues almost double every year, right, from the Premier Agent program. But in 2018, when they launched that, they're going to announce that they're going to be possibly competing against their own clients, growth in 2018 grinded to a 2% growth halt, right?
Yeah, it did.
That's still growth, though, because they're still generating $1 billion worth of revenue and profits, or I don't know what the numbers, revenue most likely from the advertising end of it. All right. So they're not going to get rid of it until it starts becoming unprofitable, or until, just like Amazon uses other systems and other businesses within their ecosystem to basically to enter or stay in a marketplace because there's some type of economic advantage for being there, but they'll run a loss leader. Right. They don't care if that company makes money, because another side of their business uses the data or that, presence in that market to fund and drive revenue to another place. So Zillow might do the same thing. And you're absolutely right. They anticipate that their iBuyer program is going to be $20 billion in revenue versus $1 billion from the agent. I think that's a little aggressive, but we'll see. I mean, according to the article in 2018, Zillow had $658 million of their own cash just lying around. So they don't need venture capital, right? They don't need venture capital, right? They don't need to set terms with other people's money. They can use their own money. But I think there's a lot of smart people at that company looking at it too. Is like, if just like what happened in 2007 and 8, during the height of the market, they're thinking, we got to build in a contingency in case the market prices fall 10, 20, 30%, because if they're caught holding, $100, $200, $300 million worth of home with a carrying cost of, whatever, 50, 60, 70, 80 million dollars on a monthly basis, they're going to burn through their money during a very low period very quickly. So, kudos to Gary Keller, right? His solution right now is to try to launch his own iBuyer program with Keller Williams.
Right.
So he's working on it.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that across the board. I know that even local agents are doing that. Our next guest is going to be Aaron Taylor this morning. And I think that that's part of his future plans, is to actually go in and buy the homes and flip them, sell them. And perhaps teams will start doing that too. I know back in the day when I started in real estate in the dark ages, 1987, teams would get together, people like for just an example, one of our agents went down to the police department and got a group of policemen to invest in buying land.
Right.
Okay. And so a group of them would go in and they would buy the land. And then they would sell it, because land was selling quickly, just like homes sell quickly.
Sure.
And, then they would make a little bit of money and keep moving. So it's possible, I'm just shouting out there to some teams, you can get some cash together and start your own programs and compete on that level. I think Aaron Taylor's going to do that. He's here now. Should we bring him on? And
yeah, let's bring him on. This topic is very timely.
Okay. Hey, Aaron. Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're good. We're just talking about you.
Yeah, we're talking about you and all the stacks of cash you have under your house, and how you're going to launch your own iBuyer program here in a second. No, I mean, the topic is right now, I was telling Ruth, the reason why these iBuyer programs are launching and growing, getting such steam, is because they're solving a very a common problem within the real estate transaction from current homeowners who are trying to buy new homes, is that they're stuck because they need the equity within their existing home to use to put down or put a good chunk down on their new home. And the timing of that causes a lot of worry, friction in the process. And that's what these iBuyer programs are solving, right? And any business, if it solves a big enough problem, becomes profitable. So the question I wanted to pose, just the real estate industry in general here, is, as a real estate agents, and you being in the business for, a couple decades now, is we know that this problem existed. How do we help solve it right now, so that these technology companies just don't come in and then take our market?
Yeah, I think that so the other day I was on a panel with ARIA, the Association of Asian Realtors.
Yep.
That was a topic of discussion. And I looked at all the agents out there and I explained to them that they're taking the clients and it's their fault. I mean, it's their fault. There's always a new company that comes around, and these people are probably going to stay around for a while because, like you said, there's always that need for someone that needs their equity fast, that doesn't want to go through the hassle, and they're willing to take less.
Right.
But it's our fault as a whole, is because we don't go to people, to their friends and family members, and let them know that you're able to assist them and help them and actually get them more money in pretty close to the same time frame. So we kind of brought it upon ourselves slightly.
Sure.
We have to do our jobs better. We have to, being a real estate agent, an outside salesperson, is not like being in a retail mall where you're sitting there waiting for clients to come to you. You have to voice your opinion and tell people about your product and what you're selling and
right.
and you. And there's a lot of professional agents out there that know their job very well. But if we let all those clients that sold their homes with iBuyer know, probably half of them would have went with iBuyer because of those iBuyer programs. Because if you look at those programs and look at their reviews, 50% of them are bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I guarantee you those 50% would not have used them.
Right.
I mean, they're just bad. So, they're for some people, not for everybody. And that's all I have to say about that. No.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a good market, there really is no need for the iBuyer program, because if homes are going off 30 days, right, selling, really a good agent should be able to, in a good market environment, do the same speed in liquidating or selling the previous home for the owners for a better price. Where the challenge is here, and this is where the advantage of both the real estate agent and regular real estate agent is going to benefit, is the iBuyer programs, I don't know, have figured out yet. Can you hear me?
I lost that last sentence. I lost it.
No, I said one of the things that I think is an advantage still for the real estate real estate agents right now, and there's still some time to really run ahead of this, is that the iBuyer programs haven't figured out yet what they're going to do during a downturn in market prices, right? Like 20-30% adjustment in market prices, because they're going to incur some holding costs because they're trying to margin this up. And here's the exciting part: is as more competition come, let's welcome Zillow to the iBuyer program, because what they're going to do is, the more competition that comes into the marketplace with the iBuyers, that means they're going to compete and their margins are going to get less.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so,
for sure, they're going to have to hold longer, and they're going to have to lose more, because I think what Ruth says is they lose money already.
Potentially,
Ruth?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just acquiring more of the market share. So, we have to fight as a whole. I mean, I had one of the panelists the other day was on there with me. It's kind of shocking what he said, but I kind of understand what he means to a degree. Is he said, if you're ever going against an iBuyer company, he goes, list the house for free. Just take their business. And I guess, there's probably a point to it, but I'm not going to do it for free. I mean, but I understand. I don't think he really probably meant that, but I understand what the point he was trying to make. And see, then the person that said that, their value is more of the discount value, right? So people that discount, to show more value, they discount more.
Yeah, right.
People that list homes like myself, the way we show more value is not by lowering our prices. It's by adding more systems and more value and more, more things to the process that will help them, right? More resources to help the client.
Right. So
maybe as realtors, we have to find more resources and come together and fight them as a whole,
right?
To take our business back. Because I will tell you, use it. It's still the iBuyer programs. They're still going to use an agent that walks in, and all they care about is buying the house as cheap as they can. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Right.
And then half the time they're going to give them less when they close than they thought they were going to get. That's just how it works. So, as agents, we just have to be more professional, show more value, add more resources to our job so we can keep our clients.
And the thing I don't like about just offering for free the listing is it still doesn't solve the problem that the iBuyer program is helping the client solve, which is giving the client the equity, right, and the funds so that they can go shop at their next property, right, without having to worry about getting out of their existing property at a certain time. So I don't like offering the listing for free, because that doesn't solve that problem. My problem is still, give me the equity in my current house to put the down payment.
So Max, some of the home builders, and Aaron, you probably know who they are by name. They are buying the house from the, they're actually buying the house so that the buyer for the new home can buy the new home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a pretty unique program, the real estate guy team that we put in place. and we've had it for a while, but we're going to advertise it pretty heavy coming up next week, is that we give cash advances to all of our sellers. So that kind of eliminates the problem if they need money for earnest money on their new home, if they need money to catch up on their house payment, if they need money for medical bills, if they need money for whatever they need, as long as they list the property with us, we don't charge no more, no less. We'll give them a cash advance so they can breathe a little bit. Because there's been many times I've had many calls from people. I'll use Maggie as an example. 80-year-old woman calls me up and says, Aaron, somebody wants to buy my house. And I said, okay, but I don't feel comfortable with it. Can you help me? I go, well, I asked more questions. I said, why do you want to sell your house? She goes, well, I'm 80 years old. There's a family reunion in Maryland that I want to get to in 2 weeks. And it's going to cost me money to get there. And I don't have any money. All my money's in my house. And I said, okay. I go, besides that, why would you want to sell your house in a week or two? And she goes, well, no other reason, really. I just need some money. So what we ended up doing for her is I went to her house, looked at the property. They were going to give her $200. We sold the house for $230. And the $200 was, they weren't given, that was $200 gross. There was still 8% in cost. So you're looking at, what, 286 or whatever it was, 284. So
184.
184. So there's still the cost there. So we sold it at $230, netted her a lot more money, and I gave her a check for $5,000 that she just paid me back for when the home closed. Now, it took 45 days, but she had time. She just needed money. She wanted to go be with her family.
Exactly right. And that's the job of a good professional salesperson, a real estate agent that understands and digs deep and asks that second question that you did. What I really love about you, Aaron, is you've mastered the skill of digging deeper and asking, instead of the surface question, because not everybody needs to sell their home in 30 days for any other reason than maybe they need money, like you just said. Right? It's not because they need to get another house, but because they're like, oh, quick money or easy money, easy transaction. We probably have 30% of the people who are going to use the iBuyer programs just use it just because they need some quick. And so, that's great.
If those people knew that we had that program, I bet you 20% of them would have not done it.
Right.
They wouldn't have done it. I mean, we've gave people money for medical bills, a lady that had cancer. We gave people money in advance because they were moving to Arizona, and he didn't have the money for his truck and the down payment of the rental in Arizona. So when the house was sold and then the appraisal was done, we gave him $5,000 to help him, get settled in Arizona.
Right.
There's 100 reasons. People have 100 reasons for needing cash fast. And then unlike the iBuyers, we have a program in place too that we can do the same thing. But we could buy the house in 5 days. I can give a cash advance in 24 hours and buy the house in 5 days and be pretty close to them. So it's out there. It really is. They just need to do some more digging. And I would put my reviews on Google and Zillow and my website up against theirs any day of the week, any day,
right? Because
we don't have bad reviews, or at least if we did, we took them down.
Yeah, and not only that, you're actually see the power of the individual real estate agent, and good ones at least, is their focus is on doing what's good and right for the client, right? Solving their problems, helping them move to the next phase of their life in a seamless way. The iBuyer programs, because Zillow is a publicly traded company, right? And all these other corporations, their objective primarily is not the end client. Their objective is profitability, revenue share, market capture. And so they're doing some things that their main focus. And that's, I think, the individual advantage that real estate agents have over these iBuyer platforms. And that needs to be demonstrated, like you said there, right? And educate through what, we're going to talk about later. And why we have this show is we need to start to have these type of conversations openly, and then coming up with solutions to help the end consumer know that they have choices, and that the iBuyer platforms aren't the only thing out there. And this is where evolving as a community, as a real profession, the days of you just showing up, letting people in a house are gone, right? If that's all you're doing, right, you will be eliminated in 5 years at the longest, right?
The longest.
What
right.
Aaron's doing right now is thinking about ways to team up with, like, financing companies to offer, bridge financing and offering much better.
Right now, are you crazy? I'm writing down things that are hitting my head.
Exactly.
As I thought of an idea that I don't even want to share because it's great, and I'm writing it down.
Right. So I mean, that's why we have these shows. It's not necessary for anybody else except us. Like, because as we start conversating, right, around topics like this, ideas start flowing, especially if we can continue to put the focus. And the advantage that we'll always have over every big corporation is we don't need to feed 100, 200, 3,000 people, right? And we're not trying to do anything other than help the end consumer solve their problems and move to the next stage of their life.
Yeah. Aaron, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but I mean, to date, these iBuyer programs have sold almost 981 homes this year. And last year they were at the 300 mark. So they've tripled. And at that rate, that's huge, 981 homes that they've sold. And that's 981 real estate agents that didn't get a commission, didn't get a sale, didn't get the opportunity to work with those clients and make them lifetime clients. So it's going to impact us over time more and more. And I want to know what your idea was that you just wrote down.
Well,
come on, nobody's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Information is
all right. So if you know there's unhappy sellers and buyers out there, what would you do? If you knew that if there was 900 iBuyers out there, or iBuyer sellers that sold their house, and half of them were unhappy, and you knew that, what would you do?
I would
go to those people and let them know that I'm the real estate guy, and I know you had a bad experience, and I apologize for them. I know you didn't know any better. But in the future, if you were ever to buy or sell a house again, I want to be that guy. Absolutely, real estate guy. I will never do that again. There's my idea.
So you're building a future database?
It's all about database.
Exactly right.
That's all it's about. And that's why the iBuyers have 900 people to begin with, because agents don't have those 900 people in their database. My people in my database, and I'm not saying all of them because it is what it is, right? But I would say 95% of my clients that refer me business or more, they're not going to use anybody else. They're just not. And because I do my job. I do my job day in and day out, month in and month out, with parties, with phone calls, with videos, with helping them out with aviator tickets, with helping them out with a new restaurant in town that they should go see, or a gift card, or, just being there for them, going to their weddings, going to their birthdays, just being there. Well, those people aren't going nowhere. So
Aaron, last night I was at Albertsons and I saw Kate Hawks, who I just absolutely love. Kate Hawks with Urban Nest. She's a fantastic.
With the hat?
Yes. Kate with a hat. So she was there. She was there buying little bottles of, wine and things. I said, Kate, what are you doing? She says, well, this weekend I'm going to go pop by. I'm going to go pop by my clients and I'm going to give them a little gift. Right. So she says, you never know who's going to have a baby, who's moving, who wants to upsize, downsize. And I want to stay in their face and in front of them so that I can continue to have them for clients for life. And such a great idea. And I thought of when we used to do our team, we would have water bottles made with, like Ruth brand, Remax Central, my contact information, and thanks for being a great client. And from June to September, as much as we could, we would go by our past clients, Aaron, and give them a case of water. Now, a lot of those people have parties, have guests over, whatever. They offer them water. And guess what? Our name is on there. And they say, oh, your real estate agent gave you this water. It was amazing, the feedback we got from that simple little, driving to their house and giving them water. And you didn't even if they weren't there, you could leave it at their door. And it had such a great feedback for us. And it was a great ROI. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it's the consistent touches that build the relationship. It's not the one. It's the consistent small things over and over and over. It's like with us, every Saturday or every week, or the more I get to know you and talk to you, the more you feel comfortable with me, the more you're able to ask me something, the more you're able to. It's the consistent touches, and I'll tell you what. Ruth knows this for a fact. Relationship building. I'll tell you what. Every single person that I use or know, I do business with. Ruth, you know that, right?
I do that. Yes.
Everybody. Everybody. And that's because of the touches, and that's because that's my job. That's the job.
And you truly love your job, and you love those people. You're not just, it's not about the money. It's about helping people and doing what you love, and the money comes. And if real estate is what you love, that's what you have to do, is you have to interact with the people. And one of the things that I know that you and I both advocate is having systems. I mean, people can have plans and they can have visions, but if they don't have a system so that they know, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and how much they're doing it, and how they're going to measure it, that which is a system, then they're not going to succeed with the business. And like Kate out there, she's doing her Popeyes. That's part of her system, and she's executing her system.
Yeah, Kate has been around a long time. I would say 30-something years, right?
Yeah, as long as I have.
Yeah, she's been around a long time, and I'll tell you, she's smart because she was consistent. Like, she's always. I don't know her personally. I don't think I've ever met her, but I know who she is because she always wears those big hats in all of her pictures and everything she does. And so there's a really good example of branding yourself. Whether she's not on the radio, she's not on TV, she's not on this, but I tell you what, her people know her.
Yes.
By her wearing those hats. And we talked about, branding a little bit the other day as well. Just like Sam, right, Ruth? Sam. Sam is 6'10". He's a super guy. He's a hustler. He's a worker. He works for his clients. Well, his brand is Hoops to Homes. Well, that's great and everything. Hoops to Homes, it makes sense. He was a professional basketball player. And that's wonderful. And you look at him and, of course, Hoops to Homes. But the people that really go to the next level, they don't mind being different. They don't mind poking fun at themselves. They don't mind doing what they have to do to stand out. So my idea for Sam was, you need to not be Hoops for Homes with a basketball. You need to be Hoops for Homes with a hula hoop. I mean, how would that look? How about a 6'10" guy doing a hula hoop? I mean, you talk about people talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll talk about it. All right.
Yeah.
So it's things like that, little brainstorms like that. Another example I like about branding too is I was talking to Sheila, my sister. She's a loan officer with Nova Home Loans, and I was so proud of her yesterday because she actually finally hit something yesterday, and she's doing it. And then I talked to her for 20 minutes how to elaborate on it, and that is she's going to start doing safety classes for real estate agents. To get their handheld license. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I go, that's beautiful because you're adding value to realtors that no one else is doing that. And I go, you have to take it one step further. Don't just do safety programs for, for handheld guns. Do it for for your personal fighting. I don't know what you call it, like karate or jiu-jitsu, or how to take care of yourself. Because the other day I could see George is listening to us right now. George got pulled out of a car the other day. Now, George is a black belt in karate. He's in his car, and some guy pounds on his window. He rolls it down and grabs George. And, George just kind of went whoosh, like that, right? Whoa! And the guy ripped his shirt off, and he pulled away. But if that was a woman, or if that was me, I would have been dead because I'm a wimp, right? So Sheila's finally coming around to like, wait a minute. Yes, she could brand herself by being the safety lender.
Right.
I mean, that's brilliant, right?
Brilliant.
And you can tell her there's a program called SAFER. And we used to do it at RE/MAX called Safer. And we had the SWAT team will come in and actually educate her, or educate when we get our training center put together. We can have them come in and actually do a show and tell, do a presentation to agents. So that's a great idea for her.
Right? And it's not just, I told her, I go, it's not just like George says, a contact sport. I go, you could even take it a step further, and you're not just a safety lady for your physical endangerment, but how about safety for E&O insurance claims and lawsuits and for broker stuff? I mean, you can just take it, expand on it. I mean, you're going to protect the agent in multiple ways. So I thought that was a good idea that she had.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
absolutely. Because the focus is on adding value, not I have the greatest rates and programs, right? That's every lender. Everybody has that. How are you going to stand out differently, right? And one of the things, I don't know if you know this, Aaron, but when I was a loan officer coming back, I actually wrote the first social media for real estate agents CE course, and I actually got people. I got real estate agents to pay me to come to the course so I can market to them. Right. But that's the thinking that we all got to do. And you've mastered this over time, is what Gary Vaynerchuk calls the thank you economy. If you read his book, it's talking about surprising and delighting your clients and the people that you want to do business with all the time. Right. Because that's the next level that you need to start thinking about. And you've already done it.
Well, I haven't mastered it. Don't get carried away. It's a work.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's like my golf swing. It's
Aaron,
a work in progress.
So, Aaron, we're going to have an event May 1st. And I had made a slight suggestion a week or two ago that we go live every day for 15, 30 seconds and talk about it. And we're going to start doing that today. Okay. And then for the next event, we're going to do it every day until the event.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to get tired of looking at us.
No.
Aren't they going to get tired? Who wants to look at me every day for 15 seconds?
So Aaron, here's what happens. Here's my phone, okay? And I'm going through my feed. And I'm like, oh, that's Aaron and Ruth again. Skip it. But once they're going to watch it, that's all it takes is one time.
All it takes once.
And
Ruth, I'm sorry to interrupt. You called me an incompetent competent one time, right?
You're an You're an unconscious competent.
Oh, unconscious competent. Well, that sounded better than what I just said.
Yes, way better. Way better.
You're an unconscious competent. You just thought of an idea. You have so many ideas and so many things in your head and it just comes out. And you don't even realize it. And your competency comes from your imagination and your creativity, not from education. That's kind of what that implies, an unconscious competent. Nobody consciously told you how to do marketing. You just did it. But on your gut. That's an unconscious competent. And you do what you feel like doing, and it works. And if it doesn't work, you go to the next idea you have.
Well, like when I do videos, I don't. And that goes along to what you said. That's why I mentioned it. It's like when I do videos and I do stuff, I don't really do it for business or anything. I just do it because it's fun.
Yes.
Because I like doing it and I love people. And I think that's why Ruth calls me an unconscious competent, is because it's just me. But when I did the speaking event the other day with Aria, I did have a great compliment. A whole table, they thought I was an attorney.
I actually saw the shirt you had on, Aaron. Wow. I don't know how they could have thought you were an attorney.
I have done a great job in fooling people, haven't I? I'm getting pretty smart. I used to say I'm not as dumb as I look, and now I'm definitely not as dumb as I look.
So at our last event, Aaron, the things that you came up with, right? I mean, you just decided, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do these dances and, showing how different people dance. And then later on in the show, in our presentation, you used that as an example to put a point across. And so you come up with things so just right out of your brain, and then you execute it. You have no fear. You're very secure in your skin, and people just love that about you. And so
the being authentic part is extremely important, especially when people are dealing with their friends and family, because you can tell. I mean, you can tell when someone's a little uncomfortable or forcing it, right?
Right.
Yep.
When an agent's doing a listing presentation, the seller knows. They can feel the vibe.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Marshall Silver to know the person is uncomfortable, or especially when they're going like this with a pin as they're writing, right? Or their mouth is cracking. I mean, you can tell. So But the way to be uncomfortable is you have to practice, right, Ruth? We practice.
We practice. Yes, we do.
Yesterday, I spent, my God, I got to tell you. Okay, you're going to boost this, right? Because I'm getting excited now, right? You're going to let all people see this?
Of course.
Yeah. This was a great show. This is a great show.
Right in the beginning, because I'm excited about it. I practiced so much yesterday for our event, May 1st, that I'm going to teach agents how to mix old school marketing with new school. And that's what I do, mixed in with what Ruth teaches with social media, because I'm going to take it from the point of when you first meet somebody to the point where you do that client party at the end, and what an agent can do to retain people and have an extremely good business. You know, if they do real estate business correctly, your business should grow every single year, not go down. If the market crashes, sure, you might have a little dip, but you're still going to retain those people. So when the dip comes, all those other agents they're not in business anymore.
Right.
But you're still in business because you have these people that you acquired. And I'm going to teach that May 1st, how agents acquire people, show them that professional, keep in contact with them, have a client party, whether they just started in the business or whether they've been in it 30 years, on a low budget or a big budget, that's going to make people love them. And here's another thing. In that client party, I'm going to teach them how to get testimonials, because when I first did my first client party, here it goes back to what Ruth said, I'm an unconscious competent, is when I first did my first client party, I didn't do it to get business. I had no clue what I was doing. I just wanted to have a party and I wanted testimonials. I figured, what's the best way to get people in front of a camera to say they love me if I just put 50 or 100 of them all in one room? Right. They're not going to say they don't, right? So I didn't know the impact of it. I didn't know the system I was going to create. I didn't know that. It's like the 5 steps to answering a phone. That just came over 20 years. That was something that just worked over years. So it's fun to be able to share that. And agents, look at me. You better be there May 1st at 9 o'clock. It's May 1st, 9 o'clock at Sierra Gold. We don't charge. We provide breakfast for you. And we're going to give you a $25 gift card at Grape Street Cafe. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to come, you're going to learn some valuable things from Ruth and myself. And I'm going to give you the bait and switch of it right now. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. We want you on our team. Right. That's why we do this. Of course we do. You're not stupid. We're not going to talk to you like you're stupid. You're there because we want to teach you. We want to show you our value. And then, of course, we're going to ask you to be on our team at some point. You could say no. It's okay. Right. But come and learn. It's free. Right, Ruth?
Exactly. You still get the information. Right? You don't have to do it. You still get the information. From one of the very best.
Don't join EXP or 048 Realty or whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what? We're going to have fun doing it. Me and Ruth, we have a blast. I have a blast more of being crazy and funny. Ruth, I tell you what, I've watched her the last couple of times. You are incredible. You are such a good educator. You know, when she said that, like, I forget, a couple months ago, she goes, Aaron, I'm an educator. All of a sudden, she's right. She's a great educator. She knows how to get the point across with social media, whatever she does. So, yeah, you would not be doing yourself a favor if you don't show up May 1st at 9 o'clock, Sierra Gold on 215 in Jones. Be there early for breakfast. It's only a couple hours. And I think if you go to Eventbrite, right, Ruth?
Yes, Eventbrite. Mm-hmm.
Go to Eventbrite and put in, what do you put in? The real estate guy, Aaron Taylor, Ruth Allbrand, the event.
Yeah, it finds it.
Yeah, you'll find it. And we have limited seating, so make sure that you register for this event.
Yeah. And the event's also being advertised on all the real estate agents' feed, so that if they're interested, they just click and go right to the event. And we have a little video clip that we're putting out there, and so that you can kind of see how the room fills up and the dynamics that go on. It's just a very, very different show, if you will, presentation and show. And Aaron is the best, and I've got a great Instagram secret tip to give everybody on May 1st, which is Wednesday. It's a little bit of work, but it works, and that's what's important. So I'm real anxious to give that tip. I just learned it from Gary Vee, figured it out, how to do it, how to apply it to real estate, and get people to be in front of more people, which is what we need to do. So be there, please.
Yes, and I'll give you a little tidbit on really how it's so much fun and funny. So I'm sitting on the panel with these other 3 successful realtors, and the room is filled. And the first question was, guys, how do you start your day, and what makes you successful? Give us a little bit of your day. So the first person, Frank Napoli, great kid. I love that. I love this father. He said, she goes, well, I get up early in the morning and I go to the gym and I do this and I have this hour scheduled and this, very regiment, right? Next person gets up, young lady. Same thing. I get up and go to the gym and I do this and I do that. And then the next person, I get up at 5 in the morning. I go to the gym at 6 and I'm just listening to him. Oh my God. If that works, that's great. So then it's my turn. Now you know what's coming, right? So my turn is, okay, people, I'm just like you in the audience. The first thing I do is I get up at 6 and I pull my American Express bill and I look at the gym membership of $49 on there. I don't go to the gym. I just look at what's, and then I stood up and I showed my stomach and everybody started laughing. It was so funny. But I think what's great about May 1st is that, Ruth, me and you are very relatable.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. It's like when I told the audience yesterday too. I go on a listing. I don't use the word scared or nervous or anything like that, but I have the same feelings you guys do, and I've done thousands of them. But before I meet those people, I just meditate for a minute. I say, Aaron, you're good at what you do. Be yourself. You're here to help them. Same thing. Boom, 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 boom. It all goes away. I do my job. We all have the same thing inside. It's just how you manifest it or how you utilize it, right? We all have those same nervousness and all that. But so I think we're very relatable. So people, May 1st, please be there and learn, because we're going to have a blast.
Quick question for both of you here. Is there any available resources for real estate agents on how to manage their finances? Like, not necessarily invest, but actually how to manage their money so that they can effectively, run their life, and they'll also put money away for marketing and client events and all that stuff, so they're stable. Is there anything?
I have a whole PowerPoint on it, and it's going to be part of our training in the training center.
Oh. I was going to say, just ask Ruth. Boy, she wants every dollar. I'll attest to it. She'll miss nothing.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because I had an idea. I'm like, dude, there should be more resources for real estate that helps them with their life all around, right? Not just necessarily about selling real estate, because, how they manage their money is going to affect how successful they're going to be in real estate as well. Because if they don't successfully manage their money, they're not going to have money to market. They're not going to have money to, do client events and other stuff like that. So
Max,
just a thought.
Max, I have to tell you that our 52 hours of training that John and I developed years ago, called Take Flight, it covers the life of a real estate agent, from the time they get up to the time they go to bed, to putting their kids through college, to how to manage their money, to how to be more successful, to how to sell their business when they retire. So we take it from A to Z, and that's 52 hours. And it's going to be at our training center starting in September. And with what we have and what Aaron has, and I know you've got things that you can offer, Max.
Right.
I mean, I know what you're working on. I mean, you know how
we're moving up the timeline, aren't we? It was October, now it's September. I bet you by August 1st, we'll have that training center done and ready to go.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's just we're going to help so many people.
Yeah. And also, we're going to help them this way too. And I know you feel this way, Ruth. I always say this, and Max, I'm sure you agree as well, is there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
My way isn't the perfect way. It's just my way. Ruth's way of teaching social media isn't the perfect way. It's Ruth's way. So I really look forward to me and Ruth down the line. I have no problem in our training center bringing in other real estate trainers and professionals to teach our team, because they're going to pick up something from me, and they're going to pick up something from them. And then to hear maybe other social media trainers teach, because they're going to pick up something from them that they didn't pick up from Ruth. I mean, all these things that we're going to provide to our team and our agents, just so we can can take back our market share from the iBuyer companies and keep our existing clients. And we know how to do it. And we're going to share that with everybody. May 1st is going to be a big part of it. 9 o'clock, Sierra Gold, 215 in Jones. Breakfast, $25 gift card to Grape Street Cafe.
Is everybody getting a $25 gift card?
Huh?
Everybody's getting a $25 gift card?
Yes.
We're paying them to come.
Well, I mean, everybody else charges for their events. We give money. We even do a raffle. We do a raffle, and we give away a few books, The Secret and Think and Grow Rich. I mean, we give away stuff that's helped us. I tell you, Max, the more money I give away, the more money I get. The more things I give away, the more I get.
Absolutely.
It really works that way. So,
and Aaron, I have a social media book to give away as well this time.
Excellent. So we got some fun stuff coming up. So people,
it's so exciting. You know, I wish we did it more than once a month, but that's why we're going to start doing more live videos. Me and you.
I think, I would actually love to do it once a week, but you know me, and if there's not 100 or more people in the room, I lose my steam. It's weird, Max. It's like I feed off the energy of the people.
Yes, you do.
The more people in the room, the more excited and the more I flow. It's odd.
And the more you give.
Yeah, the more I give. A lot of people, it's the opposite. They rather just help 5 or 10 people. You put 100, they get all, whoa, what's going on? Put 1,000. I can feel their energy. I love it. So if we can get 100, 200, 300 people a week, let's do it.
That may be the case at one point, and maybe at one point or another, right? And here's another like third level step for both of you here is once you fill out the real estate community, now all extend your education to clients, extend your education, your sphere of influences, right? With the very similar content that helps them with their business. Because the stuff that we're talking about right now, social media marketing, how to be in front of clients, sales in general, process systems, that can expand to other businesses and other industries, not just real estate. Exactly. And that's another way to get in front of the end consumer by adding value additionally in another touch. So just a seed to plant for both of you down the road.
Yeah.
Good seed. And that seed has been planted and it's been watering.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Let's wrap up the show. When's the next Social Media Academy class, Ruth?
The Social Media Academy class is May the 1st, right after our event. It starts at 11 o'clock at Tycor Title and goes to 3 o'clock. And then on Thursday, it's 10 to 2 and Friday 10 to 2 at Tycor Title. And we give free breakfast and free lunch and 12 hours of social media intensive strategies, tactics that lead into strategies to grow your real estate business and stay in front of the people so that you can beat these iBuyer programs and keep your clients for life.
Boy, you're going right from our event right to your. Oh, wow. That's going to be a long day for you. Because you know what I do after our events? I play golf. Because it's so much I need to like de-stress.
De-stress.
So I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you're
I'll be on fire.
She's gonna be on fire. That's when she's most effective. Is when she's on fire. So
I'll be on fire. You're gonna set me on fire because you always do hey Max, I come first. I'm the lounge act, right? And I got 15 minutes and I'm out of there. Or I get the high sign from the back of the room.
She's my opening act. But every time we do this, there's more slides and more slides to the opening act. Pretty soon the opening act is going to be. It's going to be an hour and 30 minutes, and then I'm going to close with my 15.
All right, everybody.
Fun. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. I picked up my baby and my little rock star, and he's a terror. Oh, my God. We have a real challenge on our hands. The dogs are fighting. Yeah. Anybody have any tips out there for what you do when you've got a 3-month-old dog and a 2-month-old dog and they don't get along? Please DM me because I need some help.
All right. Oh man. Well, both dogs are trying to establish dominance and attention. That's instinctive survival skills right now. So, wow. Yeah.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. It was just incredible.
We'll talk later.
Okay, Max, we'll talk later.
Yeah,
I
we'll
got to
talk later.
run.
You got it.
I'll let you know about next week's show.
You got it. Have a great week.
Okay, bye-bye.